So I wanted to talk to y'all this morning about some systems that we have been working on with one of y'all's actual diamond upline, Jen Hawkins. She's everyone in this group's diamond. And so she's actually I'm her level 2. Heather is her level 1. So if y'all didn't know that we're all under Jen, we are. And so I have been working with Jen and some other diamonds on trying to help create a system for all of you that is easy to plug people into. When you have new people, you know what to do, you know how to direct them, and we know how to invite people to ongoing calls that are always happening. So that's why I wanted to kind of like do a little soft launch with y'all today. I know y'all probably been seeing me posting about these different calls we have and different chats we have, but I wanted to kind of bring it all together for you this morning, and hopefully you'll kind of see the bigger picture behind the whole program. So first thing I want to do is I want to share my screen. Actually, I'm going to move this. I'm going to share my screen with y'all. Okay, so can everybody see the START acronym? Okay, perfect. Okay, so START is our acronym that we are using here for this system that we're trying to roll out. And so START stands for Share, Third-Party Validation, Action, Recruit, and Train. And the idea is that we're just shine, rinsing, repeating, and doing the same thing over and over and over. And so that's the general idea on how we grow our business. So we're going to start with Share. When we're bringing somebody new into Plexus, there's 3 different avenues that they can kind of take and how they want to work their business. And so I kind of broke this down for them with sharing. If they're like, I just want to kind of step my foot in, I'm not really all in, I don't really want a fast start, but I do want to, make a little bit of extra money. We're going to try to get them posting 3 times a week about Plexus, and then just doing their regular personal sharing within it, which is, usually about 5 times a week is ideal. If we have somebody who's like, okay, I want to run, I'm all in, we're going to try to get them sharing Plexus daily. These are people who are going to fast start silver. They are wanting to work the business. And then you have those overachiever go-getters who are going to want to sprint. And so for them, we have them posting on social daily along with their stories, making reels, like helping them like really go all in on sharing Plexus. And then we also want them sharing their personal life 2 times a day along with it, so they're not bombarding their audience with just Plexus. So the idea on sharing, super simple. I know we did a call recently over sharing Plexus, over not complicating it. If you weren't on that call, my big thing I was trying to redirect everyone to is to stop listening to the social media experts. I feel like they are like bogging down our brains and making us feel like we have to way overcomplicate social media and make it way harder than it really is. And then we all feel like, I can't do that. I'm not an influencer. I can't be an influencer. And it's also not duplicatable. Most people can't be influencers or won't be influencers. And so just post, just share the things that you're thinking about as you go through your day. Just make it natural. It's okay if your posts are not perfect. So do not strive for perfection. Just do it. Just look at what other people, if you don't know how to share Plexus or what to do, watch other people, watch me, watch Misty, watch Jaja, watch your leaders, and do what they're doing. So the third party validation, this is where we are bringing in our calls. So this is every week, y'all. There's 3 calls a week. So Monday afternoon, Thursday night, and Sunday night. We have 3 separate calls that are going to be happening every single week, unless it's like a holiday. That might be the only time where we put a pause on it. But other than that, this is something that you can count on and continue to invite people over and over and over. So Thursday nights are our real people, real story call. There's going to be a replay for this on a Monday afternoon for people who can't do the evening calls. They're Monday afternoon. Now, these calls are recorded, but we do not share the recording. So don't be like, I couldn't get on the call. Can you send me the recording? I can't. You can get on the call again next week. So try to make sure the whole goal is we want people on live. And we're doing this with more than just our team because we want the calls to be big. We want our prospects to get on there and be like, oh my gosh, there are 400 people on this call all saying they want to make $300 this week. Okay, well, if this many people want to do this, maybe I should do it too. Versus if it's something I'm just trying to do with my team, we have like 8 people show up, and then it's kind of like womp, 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 like it loses that momentum and that excitement. So, this is one of the big reasons why we're partnering with other teams. So these calls can be really, really big because, and we want to row together, not just our team, but we want all of Plexus to be rowing together in the same direction so that we can move the needle. So Thursdays and Mondays, these calls that we're having, they're product focused. They're stories of people sharing of how Plexus has changed their health. They're going to be imperfect calls. So just realize a lot of these times there are people who are scared that are sharing their testimonies. They're reading it, so try not to be like, don't get in your head on, again, if this is perfect or not. The goal here is to not be perfect because we want duplication. If we come in with everything super professional, then it feels undoable to other people. Our Sunday night calls, these are led mostly by Melissa Eichenhorst and her team right now. They are a very business focused team, so I'm super excited about plugging in with them. And it's all about just starting the business. This call has really very little to do with products. It is all about like getting that person in for Fast Start Silver and seeing if they're interested in the business part. Another part of third-party validation is to use our testimonial group. I have the Health and Happiness events page. I know Team Taylor has a whole separate testimonial page. Whatever testimonial page that you are using with your team, plug people into that. If you want in both of them, you can, but they're all usually the same idea. We're trying to fill a page full of testimonies where you can go in, you can tag people, and you can share the products. Now, here's what I really need from y'all. So what I have been doing for the past 3 or 4 years now is I'm just looking for testimonies and plugging them in. Some of them are really old, I'm going to be honest, because one thing that we have kind of dropped the ball on over the years as Plexus ambassadors is sharing our stories and writing. So if y'all could go into the Health and Happiness events page and drop your testimony, it's going to be more powerful because every post is coming from me and people are going to start questioning, if they're not seeing people coming in and actually sharing. If y'all go in and start sharing your testimonies and you encourage your teams to go in and share their testimonies, it's going to have a bigger impact. So we can make that group be even more powerful. And then three-way chats are another great third-party validation. If you have somebody stuck or someone that's unsure, throw them in the chat with your upline and they can come in and share their experience. Sometimes hearing it from a stranger or from another person, it just helps build that validity. So that's our second part of START. So that's the T. Now we have A for action. So this little flip book I'm showing y'all is a link that I'm going to post on the team page. You'll all have. And the cool thing about it is these links in here are clickable. So right here on the income producing activity, they can click here and it's going to take them to this Dropbox where they can download which file they want to do. So I have a walk, run, or again, we have the walk, run, or sprint options. And this is just a daily IPA worksheet. It has do a follow-up, do a reach out, take your products, move, do a personal growth activity. So this is something that they can go in, they can click on it in this link, and they can download their daily IPA worksheets, and they know how to start doing just the in and out daily parts of Plexus. Then we have our Silver and Six chats. These are going to happen every single week, and they are connected to that Project 300 call. So that Sunday night call, which we're temporarily calling it Project 300. It doesn't really have a name yet, so that name may change. So just be aware of that. But after that call, on the call, they will invite people to a chat. That is a 6-day chat that is going to help somebody go silver in 6 days. So that's why we want to get people on the call. Then we'll do the poll on the team page on Sunday nights. People will tell us if they want to be in the chats, and they'll be added to that chat for that first week. That's how someone's going to just like jumpstart their business, is that first week in the chat. They'll have a little group that they can work together with. And they can kind of cheer each other on as they shoot to get to silver in that first 6 days. And then the other action is join and invite to calls. So again, we have these 3 calls. Make sure people are continuing to use them and invite people to the calls so that we can, have the same system going with everybody. Then we have R for recruit. So this is just kind of some tips, as we're doing things with people and we're plugging them into this calls, we want to make sure they're learning how to like close the deal with recruiting, because sometimes it's really easy for people to get stuck at this step. And so just have some tips for people on recruiting, making sure that people are following up. Of course, this is going to be in the action step also. And just so that set expectations that yes is usually not going to come in the first ask. It's going to take multiple reaching out and following ups. Be bold in your wording, ask for and assume the sale. Use 3-way chats and 3-way calls with your upline. And then the share a cart. Use the share a cart feature to build carts for friends. And this is so much easier now that we don't have welcome packs. And then our last one is train. So we have our Project 300 calls every week. As you see, a lot of this is kind of like the same stuff. We have our Silver and 6 chats. That's going to really get somebody trained in that very first week to know what to do. If you haven't joined in a chat, join in one week just so you know what's being done, what's being said. There's also a board for it if you have the board app and want to see exactly what's happening in the Silver and 6. I can send you the link to that. Plugging people into our Learn in Action call every Monday. Again, this link, if they click on it, it's going to take them to the Zoom. So that's my Zoom link now for the Learn in Action call. If you want, it's easier to remember. It's just the bit.ly/Learn in Action. And then we have a training video library. So really encouraging people to watch training videos on a weekly basis, but they may not know like what's a good video to watch. So if you click this link, I'll just show you right here. We've created a YouTube playlist here of just some different ones. Right now, it's mostly mine and Sarah's trainings. If you have trainings you love that you've watched that's been useful, please send me those and I'll add them to our box. Or if you've created a training, like I want your faces in these trainings. So if you've made a training or you're thinking about making a training, let's add it to the training library so everybody can get to know their uplines, their sidelines, who is all on their team. Like I want the bulk of these to be us, but if there's another leader that you just love one of her trainings, let me know and I'll add it to the library. And so that is kind of like the bulk of our start system. So I want this at this point to kind of be like open for other ideas. Like it's going to be ever evolving. Ours is going to look a little bit different. Like I said, while we are rowing together with some other diamonds, our acronym might be a little bit different than theirs, or the way we're doing our links might be a little bit different than theirs. So if I am happy to personalize this for something that y'all love or feel passionate about. So if there is something that you're like, ooh, I really wish this was under A for action, I'm doing this and it's working, like, let's talk about that. Let's do that. So what do y'all think? I want to leave this open for like chit chat. What are y'all's thoughts?
One question I had was, okay, say they do the Silver and 6, and they maybe didn't hit the target, should I put them in the following week, like keep doing that, or?
I think that's kind of up to them because it's the same thing every week. So they may be like, if they were in the Silver and 6 chat, but they didn't really watch the videos and they didn't really do the exact activities that are being said, I would do it again. But if they went in and they were all in and they did exactly what was said there and that didn't work, and that's maybe as you're saying this and I'm talking this out, maybe that's something we need to add on here on the system. I say add them to our momentum chat, because I think that's a great second chat and it's a permanent chat for them to stay in, because I do think being plugged in with sidelines and support for anybody who's wanting to build and grow is a key part of that, to have that community.
Okay, thanks.
Other questions or feedback? Tell me what you think. does it feel overwhelming? I feel like as the last couple weeks we've just been like throwing stuff at you, and I know it might feel like a lot. So does it feel overwhelming or does it feel like things are coming together?
To me, it feels like it's coming together. I'm actually inspired to reach out to some of the ones that were wanting to do it before and they've like kind of stopped or dropped off. I feel like I can like encourage them to like step back in. Look, we've got something that I think would work really well, simplify it. And so I'm actually going to encourage them to just give it a week, go through all the different things and see,
Yeah.
and then go from there. Yeah.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite things too about like having these 3 calls is there's always something to invite somebody to, like there's always, because that's one of the best things. Anytime you're stuck in a conversation when you're working on sharing Plexus with somebody and it kind of comes to a halt, like always for me personally, I love to have an event to invite them to. So if I come to a standstill, I can invite them to an event and hopefully get them on a call or get them in a group. And that can kind of give us more, something to talk about after that call. And so I love that y'all will always have a standing thing to invite people to. So I do like that. Where do you send new ambassadors to look for training on retention? So those will be like looking through the training videos. Those will be things we'll need to be adding in there. So if you're really wanting to look, customer care is the best thing that we're going to need to like, and maybe we need a whole section for customer care somehow, and that needs to be added in because a lot of the system right here is more for getting new people going and less for like seasoned ambassadors for like the details, like the customer care type stuff. It's more of a like, here's how we can recruit, here's how we can get started, and here's just like the very simple. Of course, it's not going to be an all-encompassing. These are not the only things we're doing. Amanda asked, will we be keeping the weekly reset? So as of now, yes. But as you've noticed, there hasn't been like weekly host. So it's just like the weekly posting. As long as I'm seeing people comment and showing results, it's not a lot of heavy work for me to keep that group up and running. If y'all love it, like I'm happy to keep it forever. So I think it's a good thing to always plug people into. So yes, so Holly, can you elaborate on that? So retention is what caused a few level 2s to stop sharing. So why would that make them stop sharing?
They just felt overwhelmed with having to keep following up or knowing how to follow up, especially for people that didn't want to respond back to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think like they told me they had a really good system for recruiting, but couldn't keep up with keeping people engaged and interested.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm taking notes because I'm thinking about like, it probably does need to be in there somewhere. Now that I was saying it's for starting, but we probably do need that in the system somewhere and trying to think where we can add that. But I think that's definitely a good piece because I think, and maybe that's under action. Maybe we have a link under action for customer care. What do y'all think on that?
I think it's important.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. So
Maybe under the T for training.
and we could put them in the T for training videos, but I also do think it's definitely an action step too, because like it should be part of, while they have those action checklists and stuff that probably have customer care things in there, I think having a whole section on that too is an important element. Because the part of the customer care that will help them, set expectations with their customers. It will help them. We could have the little checklist. Have y'all seen the checklist that you give a new customer on how to look for like the non-scale victories? We could have that in that folder for customer care. What are some other thoughts that y'all have? because I think a lot of times the retention, like we lose people because they didn't get the results that they expected. And so I think that could either be starting products incorrectly, or it could be, just simply expectations and their mindset around using the products. So I think all of those things. And then a lot of times it really is just like, they sign up wanting that little like a white glove experience that they think they're going to get, and maybe we drop the ball and don't give them that, and so they just quit. They don't take their products like they said they were going to because no one reminded them. And so I think little things like that. I love that idea. What do y'all think about that? Okay, so I'm going to add some fair to action. Thanks, Holly.
Nikki, do you have somewhere where we have a follow-up system?
Not really.
I still give people this, like when I first like welcome them, like I don't know where I originally found that, but it's from Plexus. But it was like where they track, so like at the top, it's their health goals, getting started, the products that they're taking, and then on the back is keeping track of their wins at day 3, 7, 14, 30, 45, and 60.
I've never seen that.
It's from Plexus somewhere. I don't know where I ever found it.
Maybe
But I just keep sending it to them. So
I like it.
I'll try to find, I definitely have the PDF, so I don't know where I found it on the website, but I can send you that if you want.
Yeah, send me the PDF. That'd be great.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe get a follow-up system along with a customer care system put into the action. So JJ, what does that look like in your head?
It's pretty much the same thing like Amanda has. We have one too. You know what I use with it, but
The project broadcast stuff. Yeah.
Going down to the barn. You mean?
And I want something like I love. Oh, is Riley talking to you?
yes.
Go away. She's working. I love the follow-ups with the project broadcast, and I think that's great. But I also think we need something for the new silver coming in, like, just the basic reminder of like, here's here's where your touch point should be, like, immediately at ordering, maybe like day 3, day 7, week 2. Let's give them like the touch points that they can add to their calendar and know, okay, you need to check in.
Yeah, so that's where it started from. That's where our project broadcast started from, because we used to write it down in a calendar and follow up that way.
That way, yeah.
And it led to doing it to project broadcast because so ourselves didn't forget to do that.
Yeah. Can you share with me like what your wording and all that stuff is, and we can put that in somewhere into something for other people, and then they could choose how they want to send it out,
I actually have it printed somewhere from where I got it from.
Perfect.
So I can send that, but it looks pretty much like Amanda's.
Okay, perfect. Sweet. Anybody else have anything they would love to see added? Or anything you hate that you want to go away?
Do
Okay.
you guys find it overwhelming knowing where the calls are, where you're linking to the calls, and what time the calls are? Because I feel like that's where I'm kind of getting overwhelmed, is that we've added so many calls that we don't have like a concise one thing that we can just go and click on to get to that call every time.
Right. Well, they're different people's Zooms accounts, so they're not going to be a one click for all of them. Maybe we just need to make a graphic that we could all pin in our team pages that has the link for each call. and all the days and times.
Because don't forget too, that whenever people sign up, like when they sign up for Pivotal or whatever, they're starting to get texts from Plexus now.
Mhm,
So they're getting links for training. They're
mhm.
getting, it may be really overwhelming, so that maybe another touch point to let them know that they're going to be getting, text from Plexus that are going to be inviting them to training, or to update, they're almost expired in their Pivotal experience, and just letting them know that they're going to get it from different places. Because I know I get multiple texts a day from Plexus
Yeah,
every day. And it's training, so it may be confusing well, no, it is confusing for new people coming in. They don't know who to listen to or what they're supposed to attend. So we
Yeah.
really need to focus on the differences between our training and what Plexus is doing.
no, I agree. And I definitely think that some people can fall into the trap of watching too much trainings, and they think that they're working because they've watched 7 trainings today. And really, they've missed out on the really important pieces of the work.
Yep.
And I definitely don't want people on too many calls, because we're not a corporate setting. So, yeah. So, yeah, I like that. Finding some way to,
I fall into that.
yeah.
8 years later, I fall into
Yeah.
that, like, okay, it's time for me to back away for a minute and not train for like a week to clear my brain,
Right.
and then re-engage wherever it is.
And I'll just be honest, I never go to corporate calls ever. Unless it's like one of y'all on there. That's like the only time I'll like pop into one of the corporate calls. Not because I don't think there's value. Like, I think they have really great value and really great speakers on them. But for me, it is too much. And I just naturally am better at like setting boundaries to things in life, and like not feeling like I need to attend everything. But I know not everybody feels that way. And so a lot of people think, well, if it's there, I have to go,
Well, and I think a lot of it is for people who maybe don't have the supportive team or the
Yeah.
active team, that
Yeah.
they're not getting it from anywhere else. So they have to provide,
Yeah.
something. But I feel like I
Great.
still feel like
Yeah.
it's too
But
much.
I think you're right. I think it is for those people who aren't getting the weekly trainings and the systems and all of that from their uplines. So yeah, definitely don't feel like you have to go to all those, or feel like don't be overwhelmed by all the things. Okay, so I'll post this, the flip book and the team page, and then y'all give me this week to start working on coming together with like the customer care, the follow-up part. I can get a graphic up pretty soon with the links to the calls, but give me a week to get the other stuff added to that flip book. But just know that it'll change once I get those things added in there. But it should be the same link. Y'all should be able to use that same link for it, and it will bring up the same one, or the new one, the updated one. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for the feedback. Like, I really do appreciate, like, I honestly genuinely want your input. I want you to love the system. I want it to have all of the things that you think. So if you think of other things, or we come up with like the customer care for retention and the follow-up for retention and the other, and you're like, that's not what I was thinking, like, please, like, poke holes in it. Let's make it perfect so that we love it and we use it. Because that's the biggest thing with a system. If it's not being used, like, it's not going to be effective. It's the only way for it to be effective is if we love it and we use it. So y'all have a great day. And if you think of anything, just let me know.